you don't wear brown and orange, you don't matter.
Let this be a reminder to you all that this organization will not tolerate failure.
Well, buddy boy, I want you to get excited here.
With the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Baker Mayfield.
Okay, listen up, people. I'm gonna turn you clowns into a football team.
To the best fans, the most patient fans in the league, the Browns are going to win.
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Here we are, boys and girls. We're doing this. We're doing this show in spite of what we've been seeing on the field. And oh yeah, look, we have our fancy. I can't get over that. Mark Safe from Jermaine Whitehead today. The entire show. I've been Mark Safe. Kevin, have you been Mark Safe from Jermaine Whitehead today? Checking in, Kevin's safe.
We're good. We're safe.
Kevin has been marked in safe. Oh, by the way, everybody, let's welcome back Kevin. Everybody, welcome back, Kevin. Yeah.
It's good to be back. If you can hear me,
Kevin was out. You've had a rough. It's been a rough run for you lately. You were attacked by gigantic wasps, and now you got I don't know, some kind of.
I'm on week 2 of some sort of crud.
It's not good, man.
It started out, I felt terrible but sounded fine. I now feel fine and sound
terrible. Well, you know what? At least you're here to push buttons because let me just tell you, it's not the same without you, man.
You did really well last week for a one-man show.
For having no idea how to do any of this. You would think that as a trained broadcast professional, I would have some semblance on how to conduct a show on my own, and I don't.
I don't know why you call yourself a trained.
They keep paying me. I assume since I keep getting paid that qualifies me as a professional, correct?
Yeah, but then you think about other people who got paid.
Hey, listen, hold on. I'm getting there. Our first official picture here in the kennel is Tim Couch, baby. Tim Couch! Now look, there's some significance why I have Tim Couch up here, and at a later point in the show, we're gonna circle back around.
Okay.
We're gonna circle back around to Tim Couch, but I just like to point out too that Couchy here, I love Tim Couch. I love this guy, and many moons ago when I used to work at Shooters, where my name comes from originally, Tim used to come in there all the time. And he used to talk to me, and we would chat and stuff. And at the time, I thought it was really cool that the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns used to come in and, we were on a first name basis with each other. That was kind of cool. I'd be like, "Hey Tim," he'd be like, "Hey Mike, how you doing?" That was pretty sweet.
This story sounds embellished.
It's not embellished at all. I mean, I met so many athletes, ball players, and stuff like that. Frank Thomas hit a home run for me. That's a story for another day. But it was some
story and I still don't
it was like some Babe Ruth type crap.
No,
big hurt. I'm so mad at that guy about that. But anyway, I really did. I tell him all the time. Tim was a cool guy. I liked it. It's a shame that it didn't work out here in Cleveland for him.
Here in Cleveland?
But well, you know what I'm saying.
I do.
Apparently, it doesn't work out for anybody in Cleveland, including every member of the Cleveland Browns and its fan base, who at this point should just feel cheated. I don't know what to say at this point. We should feel cheated. There's a level of hype. There's a level of excitement, and we're hitting some bumps in the road. And I already hear you laugh, so I already know that people are chiming in on. All right, but you're still overall. You're like, well, we're gonna get this together. With all the talent that exists on this team and everything, that things are gonna happen. We're gonna get it turned around, and it's not happening. And it has become more and more difficult for me. Listen, everybody knows I try to stay as positive as possible. I try to look at the silver linings. I try to preach patience. I try to, look at things from a realistic standpoint and, and not get all jumping off the bridge. Kevin, I try.
You do nothing else if not talk people off of bridges.
And now it's to the point now where I'm starting to join them, because everything that I'm seeing from this team points in only one direction. And that direction is our head coach, Freddie Kitchens. And I don't know how I can keep defending him. I can't at this point. It's the same thing week after week after week. I'll give him credit this week. No turnovers. Only had 5 penalties for, I think, 60 yards in the entire game. And one of the penalties happened on like the first play. It was the kick return. We get called for a hold or something like that. But we still lose because we played like crap. We couldn't produce points. We had 15 trips into the end zone and we got no touchdowns. Again, it's exaggerative, but it was.
But it's also not.
It's not because we were there. Now, Denver has the number 4 defense in the NFL. They have the number 1 red zone defense in the NFL. And that was very evident by what they were doing against us and consistently shutting us down. But at some point, if you're moving the ball at will, which we were, and getting down there, you've got to start producing points. And not only are you not producing points, you're making some of the most ridiculous calls I have ever seen. Mm-hmm. Before I get into that, please tell me what's on there, because I see you laughing. I see you laughing. I need to know.
Well, so this is first of all, it's Pete Ups chiming in. Thank you as always for watching, man. He brought up my new favorite former Brown. This is a guy that until you guys brought him up a couple weeks ago, I didn't even know existed.
Okay.
When we were talking about professionals who got paid, he points out that Dwayne Bowe got paid too.
Somewhere over Dwayne Bowe.
Yeah. Because that cracks me up for a whole...
I don't even want to talk about Dwayne Bowe.
I don't have to.
I think it got...
I just like the song.
Somebody broke it down, and it's not an exaggeration. I think he got paid like $1.3 million per catch for the Browns.
Okay, get you if you can get it.
I don't know. It's ridiculous, though.
Getting back to your point on Kitchens, though, he did say, you said if we're still having these problems by week 8...
No, and he's right. And that's why I'm saying, what can I do? I can't keep defending this. I can't keep... There are some things that I'm willing to live with the head coach, especially a rookie head coach.
Right.
There's a learning curve there. There are some things that I'm expecting. Time management issues, some certain game strategy things, clock management, those things, I expected there to be issues. Using your timeouts, maybe some challenges. Things like that I expected there to be problems with and some issues with. And they get corrected kind of as you go, as Freddie Kitchens learns. Mm-hmm. But he is making some decisions now that are beyond nonsensical, and they're frankly inexcusable. At the turning point of the game, and I think everybody knows what it was, we're down by 5. It's 17-12. We've got the ball. We're inside the 10-yard line. It's 3rd and 1, and Nick Chubb's not on the field. You have the number 1 running back. He's the number 1 running back in averaging yards per game in the NFL, right. And he's not on the field. He's not there. We hand off to Hilliard. Why? What are you doing? The man is averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and you take him off the field in a crucial situation. Now it's 4th and 1.
Right.
Nick Chubb is still on the bench. He's still gone. And you quarterback sneak Baker Mayfield. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that was a shit call. We got hosed on that call. Baker Mayfield absolutely got that first down. There's not a person on the planet that is going to convince me that didn't happen. But prior to that, everything else that Freddie Kitchens did was ridiculous. Right. It never should have come down to that call because you have your number 1 running back sitting on the freaking bench there. And even worse, though, why are you going for it on 4th down? With the way that the game is going, how things are playing out, you take the points. You kick the field goal. Now it's 17-15. You put your... Listen, I get it. Nobody wants to win a game death by field goal. It's boring. Trust me, I get it. But a win is a win is a win is a win. And we didn't get a field goal in that situation. Later on in the game, we had to go for a touchdown because we were down by 5. We could have only been down by 2. Right. A field goal wins it. A field goal in that 4th down situation and a field goal in the situation at the end of the game gives us 6 points. We lost by 5. And that is all on Freddie Kitchens. That is terrible game management. That is terrible play calling. I don't know what he's thinking with benching Nick Chubb, not even playing him in that situation, all the way around. I understand that it was a terrible call by the refs, but I've said this a million times. If you are the type of team that needs to blame the referees for why you lost, you shouldn't even... It's not an argument anyway. Right. Win a game by 21 points, and I don't care what the calls the refs make against you. It doesn't matter. You take the refs out of the game. And I hate having to argue about it because it's infuriating. It never should have come to that point to begin with. It was a terrible call. It was absolutely inexcusable to not have Nick Chubb in the game and not give him the ball. And And we've seen this before now. He's made crazy 4th down calls. He's made plays where we need to get a yard and Nick Chubb is off the field. And these things are starting to repeat themselves. It's over. And I can't continually sit here and say, well, he's learning or he's new or whatever. That's inexcusable. That cost us the game.
Right. But at the same time, this is not the only team to have those type of mistakes, and not from a rookie head coach either. Well, there are plenty of fans in Seattle who would say, at least you didn't throw an interception.
Well, run the ball. Run the ball.
Sure, you didn't use your top back, but you stuck with the game plan at least.
But that's a one-off thing. You know, Pete Carroll making that decision in the it was a bad call, admittedly, but that's a one-off thing. This is starting to become a thing and a pattern with Freddie Kitchens, making inexcusable. None of their inexcusable. You're like, what are you? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? It's nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. It doesn't add up to anything. There's no type of strategy to it whatsoever. And I can't keep defending it. Again, the turnovers went way down. That's great. And the penalties went way down. That's great. But there were all kinds of other things that took place in that game that were inexcusable, and it cost us to lose the game. Now, everybody's bagging on Baker Mayfield again now. I don't know what exactly is going on with Baker Mayfield. Now I'm starting to think that maybe it has a lot more to do with Freddie Kitchens than it actually does with the play of Baker Mayfield.
I'm going to say this, though. I have no problem bagging on Baker Mayfield if you're going to do it for the right reasons. And by the right reasons, I'm talking about this right here.
I just love the tweet. Look at this clown Baker Mayfield. Arrived with a full beard, shaved it into a Fu Manchu pregame, then went basic mustache for the postgame presser. Man's head is gone.
That's not even basic mustache, though. That's kind of creeper stash.
You know what my favorite of the pictures here is the postgame presser where he's standing there where he's got just the regular mustache. He looks like John Candy from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah. He's just absolutely dejected. And you could see the look on his face. I don't know what he's doing here. If you pay more attention to throwing the ball to freaking OBJ than you do your facial hair, maybe we'd be winning some football games here. But we got to deal with this stupid shit now. This is everything that everybody's talking about now. They're mocking our starting quarterback for this crap. And this is completely unacceptable. His play has not been good. And again, I don't know, do you put this directly on the shoulders of Baker, or is there something else going on with Freddie Kitchens and this offense? Something I wanted to bring up here. Earlier this year, Bob Wiley made a comment. Bob Wiley was the offensive line coach for the Browns last year. He kind of had a nice little run on Hard Knocks. He kind of became a fan favorite after it with the way that he, was hutting and his belly would jiggle when he was hiking footballs and stuff. Bob Wiley said during camp this year that Freddie Kitchens had nothing to do whatsoever with the Browns' success last year after Hugh was fired. He basically said that all the assistant coaches were the ones who pitched in and got that job done. Right. And at the time, everybody was like, oh, boo you, Bob Wiley. Why are you going to be hating and all this other crap, and they're giving Bob Wiley a hard time. And even Freddie Kitchens addressed it. He's like, I don't know why Bob's talking. I don't know why he's running his mouth. He's not even here anymore. Basically, F him. Right. Now it's kind of looking like maybe Bob Wiley had a point. Maybe he did. And Bob Wiley was a coach who was around in the NFL for, 40 years. Certainly he knows what he was doing and what he was talking about. Yeah. Does he have a point on it? Again, it's kind of hard to argue. It's kind of hard to argue this point and all this negativity towards Kitchens, and I have been against it. I've been trying to preach patience, and I can't, because these things that I'm seeing, and this is frustrating for the fan base. This team, this city, this franchise deserves so much better than this. And it's the same story over and over and over again with us. And now everybody's talking. What do? You want to fire him? You want to fire? Firing Freddie Kitchens right now
throws away the season.
Well, not only does it throw away the season, this is how we got Freddie Kitchens.
Right.
Because we fired our coach in the middle of the season last year. We cannot keep freaking doing this. This is what the Browns do. They get a coach, they fire him. They get a coach and they fire him. We finally decided to get a coach and stick with him even though he sucked, and that was Hugh Jackson, and that man led us to winning 5 games in 3 years. So we can't win. No matter what we do, we preach patience with some guy. He's terrible. You stick with him way too long, or you just keep firing people, and then nobody wants to work here. We get coaches like freaking Mike Pettin. Who is that guy? He came out of nowhere. I don't even know where Mike Pettin is now. He's probably pumping gas or something somewhere near Seattle. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know where we're going. I don't know. I don't know. And Browns fans are once again sitting here going, what the hell is going on? What is happening to this franchise? Why are they so snake bitten? I don't have anything, Kevin. I don't have anything, man.
I have an embarrassing Mike Pettin story for you.
Okay.
Because I didn't know the answer, and I just looked it up. He's the Packers defensive coordinator.
Oh, is he really right now? Mike Pettin's the Packers defensive coordinator? That's hilarious.
I didn't know that is awfully embarrassing.
And you know what? Mike Pettin's probably a fine coordinator. I mean, I know that he was working in Baltimore. He did a good job there. But he got here and everybody was like, what the hell's going on with you? Listen, in a minute here, I still love that we have our marks safe from Jermaine Whitehead. We'll get to Whitehead here in a second, where Matthew J is about to call in.
He's piping up in chat.
Yeah, and you know what? And here's the thing too: we're gonna have to listen to his overwhelmingly amazing negativity. Because
2.0.
Yeah, oh my God, he that's exactly. He's gonna, and I can't argue with them. I think that's the thing that's making me angriest is the fact that he's saying all this nonsensical crap, but he's the one who's right, because clearly Freddie Kitchens does suck, and there is something going on with Baker Mayfield because he's not playing up to snuff this year. It's not happening. So Matthew, as soon as you want to call on in here and get this going, I have a special surprise for you. Here we go. Here he is.
I appreciate you.
We're gonna answer this. We're gonna bring it in. Matthew, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. Hold on. Before we even get started, this is you. This is you.
You rotten bum! You overpaid Winnie!
You're Randy Quaid from Major League 2.
You make my butt stink!
Okay.
I detest you! You're all garbage! All of you!
That's not funny.
Listen, man. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you give it to me here, but I gotta tell you that I don't like it.
I just want to start by saying I too am marked safe from
Jermaine Whitehead. God, man, I hope Dustin's safe.
I don't know. Well, knowing Dustin Fox, he's already got armed security, and him and Bernie Kosar are sitting somewhere enjoying an adult beverage.
An adult beverage. All right, hit me with it, man. What do you got? What do you got, man? This is it? This is Freddie Kitchens has got to go. You're the champion of the Freddie Must Go Club. Yes.
No, Baker has to go. Baker's overrated. I'm sorry. He's overrated, Mike.
Okay.
Freddie
listen.
should give up play calling, but seriously, Baker is way overrated.
How can somebody show off so much talent a year ago? And produce at the level he produced at a year ago to going to doing this year. He didn't become less talented. He didn't automatically go from a really good quarterback to a bum overnight. Are you telling me that
he's not a smart man, and now the offense is too complicated for him?
I don't know, man. That's a bold statement to just be bagging on Baker like that. You basically call him an idiot.
Look, I agree with your point. We got Freddie by firing Hugh Jackson,
right? And exactly,
so we can't fire him. And remember, every commentator and every analyst said we got Freddie a year early. There's going to be growing pains, but we have Odell and we have Landry, and even an idiot could drive this train.
Right.
Well, an idiot is
driving the train. Yeah,
and
listen,
it's going nowhere.
But see, doesn't that make you? Doesn't that? Let's say hypothetically here. Let's speak hypothetically. Let's say that Freddie Kitchens, like Bob Wiley said, didn't have anything to do with the offensive turnaround of the Browns last year, and now he's the man. He's behind all of this. Don't you think that has a lot to do with the stunted progression of Baker Mayfield? Couldn't you agree that that's probably a very possible thing?
Yeah, I mean, I can agree, but you don't have a sophomore slump like Baker Mayfield is having if you're as great as everyone claims he is. Did Cam Newton go through these problems? I think who's that kid in Kansas City that is injured now but was still having a record year?
Again, though, I'll bring up the example, and I said this to you. We were texting about this earlier in the week. The perfect example that I can bring up is Drew Brees, because he had an 8-8 year his rookie year. And then he came back his second year, and now everybody had a bunch of film on Drew Brees, and everybody had a bunch of tape to watch, and all the defensive coordinators came after him, and he was terrible. He got benched for a 41-year-old Doug Flutie, and the Chargers wound up going 4-12 that year because of it. I think that he came back and had a pretty good career after being benched his second year. Wouldn't you say so?
I don't care about what Baker's career is going to be after the Browns. Is he going to be the one player that leaves the Browns and goes on to greatness?
Well, listen, the Chargers also didn't move on from him because they just didn't believe in him anymore. He had a significant shoulder injury, and they were very, very concerned that his career was going to be over. So they were kind of hedging their bets when they took Phillip Rivers. It was a combination of, I don't know if this kid's got it, and holy hell, his arm is about to fall off. He's never even going to be able to blow his nose, let alone throw a football. So, that has a lot to do with it. Baker's not injured at all. He's fine. It just comes down to, can you believe in him? Do you think that he has the talent? I still do. I still think that Baker Mayfield has talent, and I'm starting to lean towards what you're saying and what a lot of other people are saying, that the coaching really here is what the issue is, and that the way that the offense is playing, this offense looks completely different in many ways from how it looked last year. In many ways.
I got to cut you off.
Cut me off, man.
We had a penalty on a victory formation at the end of the game.
Yeah, well,
how does that happen?
Frustration. Somebody probably slapped someone. Who knows?
Or your coach has no control, and a wide receiver called a timeout.
I don't know. Why do you keep harping on this? It was to me, it was a good thing. He called timeout, and the next play we scored a touchdown, so it doesn't matter. Who cares?
You would be so up in arms if a Pittsburgh receiver, if Juju Smith-Schuster called timeout with 2 timeouts left in the third quarter. You'd be like, look at this idiot. Tomlin's a moron. Blah, if you took off your orange-colored glasses.
Possibly.
He's got a point.
No, possibly. But here's the thing. If on the next play, Juju Smith-Schuster scored a touchdown because he saw something funky on the defense, I'm like, all right, good call then. Clearly you saw something. And that's what happened. So I don't have a problem in that situation with them calling a timeout. I don't. To me, that's making a molehill.
You have a losing record and you've done nothing in the NFL to prove that you can call timeout. Nothing.
Jarvis
and you call
Landry,
it, and your coach doesn't even go, what the hell?
maybe he did. Who knows? I didn't see anything on the sideline. You never know.
See, you're kidding me. The wide receiver calls timeout, and Freddie's like, okay, what do you see there, buddy? Because I can't see shit.
Nah,
Seriously,
I don't care. Kevin, what do you got? Hold on.
You guys are going back and forth, kind of skirting around this issue, and P Dubs is asking it flat out in the chat. Is Baker the franchise quarterback?
To me, yes. I still think that Baker Mayfield is our franchise quarterback. I'm unwavering in that right now. I still haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough that leads me to believe, oh man, this guy, it's done for him. He was throwing some dimes yesterday. Now, he made some bad plays too. Missing OBJ in the end zone you can't have that.
Right.
You cannot have that. But this is what leads me to believe that maybe it's a coaching thing. Because if they're drawing up that play and Freddie Kitchens tells him, hey, this is what we're looking for. You're looking for this route underneath straight here. That's what Baker's going to do. He's not even looking at OBJ, which is a problem. If he's being coached that way, that's a problem. And that's where I'm leaning on you, Matt. I'm starting to think you've got you might have good points on Kitchens. I don't believe it on OBJ or on Baker, though.
Who's going to coach your quarterback not to go to the best hands in the NFL?
You know what? I don't know, but
listen to yourself.
It sounds. You're not wrong on that, but I know it sounds ridiculous, but OBJ and Landry combined have 2 touchdowns this year. And I'm seeing it consistently, game after game after game. We aren't going to them. I mean, OBJ's averaging like 5 or 6 targets a game. That's absurd. I mean, Callaway has more catches. Why is Callaway involved in the offense so much? I don't understand. Why is Higgins not involved in the offense? That's still this big, huge mystery. The chemistry between Higgins and Baker has been proven. It's there. Why this guy is not playing, and he's so vague. He doesn't talk about it. There's something going on there with that. I don't understand it. And again, it's one of those things. All signs are pointing to Freddie Kitchens right now. Everything is pointing to Freddie Kitchens. I don't know how it can't be pointing to him. So I'm with you. I think I'm joining the Matthew J train when it comes to, it's Freddie's being held responsible for everything. But I can't do it with Baker yet. I can't do it. He has too much talent to me. I still think he has too much talent.
Right. Yeah, because every Heisman Trophy winning quarterback goes on to greatness in the NFL.
Listen, don't get me started on Johnny Manziel, man. You know I didn't want that short little dude anyway. I told you.
How about Josh Gordon?
Listen, we talked about
this. Seriously, Mike, you're a homer. Get over it. Open your eyes.
I don't like this man.
Baker for what he is.
Why did I let him back on my show?
I love it. In part
that made it all
I have a
worthwhile.
voice and he can actually talk right now. But
well, and see, here's the thing, though. He's the yin to my yang.
Oh, please don't ever say that again.
No, that's what it is.
He's the logic to your emotion.
Yeah. Maybe. I think he's crazy. But listen, I have no choice. As much as it angers and pains me, I have no choice right now but to say that he's got some points. Yeah. He's got to be right, because right now the Cleveland Browns suck. And Matt, let me ask you this. What do we do? Because this was an incredibly hyped team. And on paper, we have a lot of talent. And it's not getting done. So what do the Browns do? Do we fire Freddie? Do we start all over again? Now we got to get all new coaches in. We're getting all new schemes in. What do you think?
Here's what we do. Seriously, we're gonna fire our offensive coordinator, I think, in the next week or two, and we're gonna bring in somebody that the next coach is gonna want. And I think that's in the works, because I think Haslam plays a big puppet master in this.
Well, and you know what? And that's something that I do agree with you in. And I think that you and I are both in complete agreement that Jimmy Haslam is an idiot and a terrible owner. And I cannot wait to see this guy get the hell out of Cleveland, because he has done nothing but meddled with this team since he's gotten here. And he has proven time and time and time again that he is completely inept as an owner, has no idea what he's doing, and is running this franchise. I didn't think that it could go into the ground any farther than what it is, but it is. We are going subterranean at this point. I cannot stand Jimmy Haslam, and I know you can't either.
Yeah, no, I can't stand him to begin with, but I really think that Dorsey has a real plan in place, and I think another losing record, season ticket sales will fall off, and I think Dorsey will bring in. I mean, is it Jay Gruden? Is it McCarthy? As at $10 million a year.
Do you know that somebody actually suggested to me that we bring in Jim Harbaugh?
Oh God.
Could you imagine? I can't. I'm not gonna call him out, but he knows who he is. He knows exactly who he is. But he was trying to talk me. Oh, he was great in San Francisco. I mean,
Was he though?
That's what I said. Was he?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you had some outrageous performances from the kneeler. He got you some great games and kind of took the NFL by storm.
He wasn't even that good of a quarterback.
But I mean, that year they went to the Super Bowl, he played out of his mind, though. You can't take that away from him. I'm not going to, because he played great. I mean, nobody knew how to stop him. But the point is that I don't want. I mean, I would throw up if Jim Harbaugh came here. I would throw up. I would. That's when I'd pick another team.
It could happen.
I don't want it to. It better not happen. It better not happen. I don't know who they get. So we're assuming now that Freddie Kitchens is gone. That's it. He's donezo.
I don't know. I can't. How do you get penalized in victory formation? Seriously. And how do you not put Chubb in the game for two? Okay,
inexcusable. Inexcusable. Yeah, it's absolutely inexcusable, man.
Say he was winded on the third down play, okay? Like, hey, the play worked. Go to the next play, and, I'm on the bench. Why wasn't he back in for fourth down?
I don't.
Why didn't we call timeout?
Why are you going for it on fourth down? Why are we not taking the points in a game like that?
Yeah, but would you of all people would be calling, you had 1 yard to go. You got the best running back. We needed 7. Why don't we run the ball? You would be playing that game.
Possibly. Listen, no, I hedge my bets. I'm not going to say that I don't. I do a little flip-flopping from time to time.
Yeah, no, you would have been known. You have the best running back in the NFL. You have the best receiver in the NFL. Why aren't you going in for 4th and 1 on a 70-yard drive?
Yeah. Seriously, you're pumping me into it again now. See, now I'm starting to defend him again. What's the matter with you? You got me all twisted around, man. Go for it. Wow!
Just on that call, going for it on 4th down, you would have played it against him. If he made it, he's a hero. But
all right, man. Listen, before we let you go, how does the rest of this season play out? What do you see happening here? Because here's the thing. For me, this season is over. The season's over. We got to win 8 straight games to finish 10-6 and have any semblance of making the playoffs. And there is nothing whatsoever to inspire me to make me believe that this team's going to win 8 games in a row. They've lost 4 in a row. They can't win. They've only won 2. How the hell are they going to win 8 games in a row and make the playoffs? This season's over. It's done. So what happens now? How does it play out?
I say we have 2 wins. Kitchen gets fired. We draft a quarterback in the 2nd round, and we bring in some powerhouse coach.
We're not taking another quarterback. You got to let that in. You got to let that go, man.
What?
You got to let the quarterback thing go. Baker's here. You don't give up on the number 1 overall pick.
Who's our backup quarterback?
I don't know. Drew Stanton.
Right. We don't even have a backup.
I'm pretty sure it's Drew.
That's how much Baker's running.
It's Drew Stanton and the guy who used to back up Baker in like Oklahoma or something, or used to play. I don't know. Right. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a shit
terrible.
show.
It's absolutely terrible.
All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in. We're going to have you again next week. I'll be happy to argue with you during via text message all week.
I don't know if I can do what we did this Sunday again. It took out too much of my life.
Yeah, it's how everybody in Cleveland feels right now. This is killing all of us. All right, man.
Hey,
we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, buddy.
You got it.
Later.
Matthew J, everybody. Give him another Matthew J.
So while you guys were talking there, P-Dubs chimed in again on the ownership and how Jimmy said he wasn't meddling anymore. And then when they asked him about the O-line a year ago, he said, "I'm just gonna have to see what the tape says. If you're not meddling, why are you watching the tape?"
No, I can't. I've made my feelings on Jimmy Haslam clear many, many times in the past, and I think that I just did it again pretty well. He's a moron, and he has brought this franchise even further down than I thought that it could be. I mean, the things that he has done. He drafted Johnny Manziel. Nobody else in this organization drafted Johnny Manziel. Nobody wanted anything to do with Johnny Manziel, but he's the owner, and he said, take him. Take the little boy from Texas. And see, that's how it played out. I didn't want him. I mean, that's where he's from Houston. Yeah, he's from Houston. So
I didn't pay any attention to him.
Yeah, and I mean, he went to Texas A&M too. So I mean, sure. Yeah, it was ridiculous, and this is how he's been, and he's been the one who's brought in inept people. When he brought in Paul DePodesta, a baseball analytics person, to run our analytics department and be like assistant GM.
That sounds about right.
Why are you? You know what? What's next? Let's hire some hockey people to bring in here. You know, that way we know how to move the puck better down the field. The guy's a moron. Every decision that he's ever made has been nothing but a disaster. What's that?
Quicker line changes.
Every decision he's made has been a disaster. It's been an unmitigated disaster. Every personnel move every person that he's hired, everything. It's just been a disaster. Freaking Ray Farmer. I can't go down this road.
I've got two things for you.
Go ahead, fire it off.
Browns quarterback depth chart. Drew Stanton's actually on IR.
Oh, okay.
So your number 2 quarterback is Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah, Garrett Gilbert. That was the guy who
powerhouse that is.
Like him, he's like best friends with Baker Mayfield. They grew up together. They went to the same high school, and Baker used to hang out with him when they were kids. And
sounds like a great reason to be a quarterback.
Well, it's literally the only reason why he's on the team is because he's like one of Baker's best friends, which is craziness. It's kind of like when Carson Palmer's brother was backing up Carson Palmer in Cincinnati. Like that's not a thing. The only reason he was there was because he was Carson Palmer's brother. As soon as Carson Palmer was out of the league, he was gone.
Also, secondly, slightly more important thing. I thought I heard this earlier, and it did. I just didn't see the alert come in. We have a new subscriber.
Ooh, who's the new subscriber? What do we got? Who is it down there? Appreciate you. Oh, Bianca! Bianca has joined us. What's up, Bianca? How are you?
Chiming in chat as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Tell Anthony I said hello, baby. That's right. Anthony's awesome. We go way back.
See? This is what I'm here for.
That's right.
By the way, to tease ahead a little bit in the show, assuming that we'll have time, P-Dubs has already also chimed in with his question for the segment on the recurring Factory of Sadness tidbits. So I can't wait to get to that in a little bit.
Okay, we'll touch on the one big part of controversy, Jermaine Whitehead. We can put these tweets up. I'm sure at this point everybody's seen them. But this is reprehensible all the way around, and especially for a guy like Dustin Fox. You know, that's a media member. This guy's doing his job, and here's the thing: he wasn't wrong because Jermaine Whitehead played a terrible game. And I can understand that after the game, you had a bad game. He broke his finger or his hand or something like that. So you had a terrible game. The guy's hurt. The team lost. Emotions or whatever. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't say he's threatening to kill people. I mean, I won't even touch on the completely racist overtones of his of his posts. You know, like I was telling you, Kevin, earlier today, all I could think about was Chris Rock, crack ass cracker. That's all I could think of from Chris Rock.
Seen it in the description today. The title of today's show is in fact
Cheese and Crackers. Cheese and Crackers. You know, you can't have it. You can't have that. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, he's getting suspended. And then I was like, no, it's going to go farther than that. More is going to happen. And the Browns absolutely did the right thing and got rid of him. He's booted. He's bye-bye. And you know, Kevin, I didn't even realize this until earlier today, but we got him from the Packers, and the Packers released him because he slapped a player in the face.
Yes.
That's why the Packers let him go. And we picked him up, and yeah, here's my favorite though. Like this is for a horrible thing though. The comeback here from whoever he hate me is down here. Jermaine said, "Don't get shot," and he wrote, "You'll probably miss." That is just so cold-blooded.
The other question that I've got about all of this, so Dustin Fox, obviously media member, has the little verified check mark there.
Yes.
Jermaine Whitehead, not so much.
No, but
how do you play in the NFL and not even have a verified account.
Well, apparently he's not that popular for starters, and
I can't imagine why.
Right. But obviously that, it later came out, this was his account. He was followed by, so many members of the media, or not only the media, but Browns front office staff. So that was absolutely his account, and it was him. And that, somebody also said that a PR person from the Browns saying he tweeted all this immediately after the game. He was still in his uniform. Yeah. Like, what do you do? Why are you ran to your locker and grabbed the phone and was like, who's talking shit? Oh, F that guy, F that guy. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. Like, who does that? I don't know. I guess that, that maybe I'm getting a little bit older, because maybe this social media thing is a big deal with the kids nowadays. But
you better hope so for our viewership's sake.
I don't know, man, but that just seems absurd to me, that the first thought that you have when you come into the locker room after a game where you lose like that and you play that badly is, I'm going to go on social media to see who's talking smack and I'm going to blow them up.
Well, and that's the other thing is Dustin Fox didn't even tag him in that.
No, not at all.
So it's not like he got a notification saying,
no,
hey, so-and-so is saying crap.
So somebody must have texted him like, hey, Dustin Fox is talking smack. I don't... Right. Which I just don't. I don't understand.
But again, why your first thought when going to the locker room is either one, I need to pick up my phone and see who's tweeting and see who's talking about me, or two, I should probably shave this Fu Manchu. I think you've got
there's problems.
Priority issues.
There's problems
in the locker room.
There's problems. I mean, Baker was shaving his face the whole damn day.
He was.
Throw it to OBJ. Put the freaking Ray. Look at this guy. Jeez, my God. I don't even know what to say.
No, so here's my thought about the post game look. I think he knew that getting the ball to OBJ was a problem, that he wasn't there yet. So he didn't want to completely lose the stash, but I think he's trying to channel the John Cusack can say anything. He's going to be below OBJ's window with the boombox.
It's just a boombox. Listen, I'll tell you, OBJ has been. I was waiting for him to pop off today, and I wouldn't have blamed him at all.
I think you saw what happened to his teammates.
Yeah.
Maybe I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, today. I'll be quiet for right now. Yeah, OBJ showing restraint, not something that he's known for. But I mean, he said on the sidelines, he's like, I can't get the ball to save my life. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, he denied that he said it, but everybody knows that he said that. And I don't blame him. And I don't, again, like we were talking about with Matthew J., I don't know why the ball's not going to him. I don't know why it's not going to Landry. I don't know what's going on. It can't possibly be Baker not being able to get these guys the ball. It's got to be something schematic. It has to be something that they're game planning for, and it all comes down to coaching. What is going on that we can't get the ball to our two outside playmakers? Why is it happening?
P-Dubs is cracking on my hat now.
Oh, well, because you got a mustache hat.
It's the Lexington Legends.
That's right, baby.
Know your minor league baseball.
That's right. All right. All right, where are we going next? Come on, producer extraordinaire. Where were we going? You keep me in line, man. What do you got for me? Oh God.
I didn't even want to say it.
I mean, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to talk about it. This is, I thought that this was going to be a weaker division, and I thought that was going to give the Browns a chance to claw back into this thing. And
have a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance? No, there's not a chance, because Baltimore, I don't know how the hell we beat them. I have no idea. They just beat the Patriots, and they're sitting pretty. The Steelers are back to 500. The Steelers, banged up, injury riddled. They lost all of their main playmakers. I mean, they lost AB, Le'Veon Bell, and Ben Roethlisberger, and they're 4-4. Because they're a class organization and they know how to do things the right way. That makes me want to throw up in my mouth, because I hate them, and I honestly hope that the city of Pittsburgh burns.
Just call the Steelers a class
organization. I can't argue it. I can hate it, which I very, very much do. But they are, and they consistently do things like, I don't know, win. They consistently win. And you know what we do? We're consistently a rudderless ship, as you so eloquently put it. That's exactly what we are, because there's no leadership. There's no direction. We don't know what we're doing. The only thing that's saving us at all from utter humiliation is the other Ohio football team that sucks even worse than we do. Putrid. Ohio football in general sucks. If you were to combine the records of the Bengals and the Browns in the last 20 years, it's got to be just horrific. Just absolutely abysmal. Because the Bengals haven't done anything either. They've made the playoffs a few times, but they lost. They haven't won a playoff game longer than we have. We haven't won since '94. That's just I don't know. So that's where we are in this division, and I think that the division is pretty much sewn up. Unless it's some sort of miracle happens, I have no faith that it's going to. There's nothing that's happened at this point. Nothing points me in the direction. You know what? I think they're going to get it done. I was optimistic. I kept trying to be optimistic during this four-week slide. I'm not anymore, and nobody in Cleveland is either. And things are starting to. I think that you're going to start to see this team crumble. You're going to see a lot of finger pointing. You're going to see a lot of blaming going on. You're going to see, it's going to start. It already started. I mean, it started with Jermaine Whitehead, and it's only going to get worse.
Rob Kuhn points out, if they lose to Miami or Cincinnati, we riot.
What's up, Rob? Yeah, no, you're not, man. You're not wrong, Rob. You're not at all. I mean, the Dolphins finally got a win. They beat the Jets. Woohoo! Go Dolphins. And then you know what? The Bengals are probably really excited. They're probably looking at the schedule right now going, when do we play the Browns? Because we're going to pick up this W. We're going to get our W. We're going to not lose all 16 games.
Or are they looking at Miami's win going, oh, now we've got the inside track. We just got to keep losing, baby. Just keep losing.
He's right. You can't, but I don't know how they win. I don't know how the Browns win, because they are completely dysfunctional. It's dysfunction junction is what it is right now. I don't know what the team needs to do. Freddie Kitchens every week says the same thing. Well, we don't practice. This isn't how we practice, and we don't coach to suck or whatever. I get it, Freddie, but you know what? We lose. We're losing, and we're so much better than this. And I don't know how you get all of this ironed out. I don't know how you get it back on track. I don't know if they can win 4 games in a row and get to 6-6. Maybe.
Let's take a look at where we gotta go.
Let's look at the schedule. Let's see what's coming up. We're gonna get smoked by the Bills because they can actually play football. They can play football like a functioning football team. They have a winning record. They have a winning record. So we're going to lose that game. Then we're going to go play the Steelers, and we're going to lose that game too, because it's a rival and it's a big game, and we're going to really need it, and we're going to want it, and it's a division game.
But these next 3 are all at home, at least.
Yeah, and they are, and they're winnable. They're all winnable. And again, 4 or 5 weeks ago, if you asked me this, I'm like, oh, we're destroying them. But I have no faith. I'm picking the Bills right now. I'm telling you.
If you win these next 2, though, and end up 5-5.
Winning 2 would only make us 4-6. We're 2-6 right now.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, we're 2-6.
I'm looking at your record, not
no. We're the Brown. My records, because I keep betting on these clowns. That's why I keep picking them to win games. But we're 2-6. We got to win 4 games in a row. We have to beat the Bills, the Steelers twice, and the Dolphins to be at 500 again and finish out against the Bengals twice, Baltimore, and the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't see anything good happening. I don't see anything good coming from it. I don't know. And it's such a deflating feeling because there was so much hype and there was so much hope. And here we are again, as Browns fans, just watching abysmal football, watching what should be something positive, and it's tiring. It's tiring as a fan. I tip my cap to every Browns fan who still supports this franchise and is still around and still has faith in this franchise. I don't know how we do it. I mean, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I just built a new set for this show, man.
I'm here for the entertainment.
I know. Listen, the Browns, that's why I told everybody online, the Browns may suck, but we don't. I'm still going to have fun with this show. I got Tim Couch up on my wall.
We got Big Mike.
And speaking of Tim Couch, I'll come around to the point that I was going to make with Tim, and I was going to tie it into Baker.
Okay.
I think what happens a lot of time, and Tim Couch is the perfect example of this. A good quarterback starts developing bad habits when bad things are happening. Bad offensive line play, bad coaching, constant shifts in coaching. And unfortunately, that was something that Tim Couch had to deal with his entire career. Mm-hmm. Tim Couch was a good quarterback. He had a very strong arm, and he was incredibly accurate. He was a big dude, 6'4", could see over the line. He had all the intangibles, and he was a competitor. But he was on a terrible football team with no weapons, no offensive line. The man was sacked 50 times a year his rookie year and 58 times his second year, and he wound up developing horrible habits. And it sunk his career. It wound up turning a good quarterback bad. And I hope that that's not what we see happen with Baker Mayfield, because I still believe that Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback. I think that he has the talent. I think that he's got the ability to succeed and succeed well at this level and in this league. I believe that he has it. But if he's getting poor coaching and our game plans are a mess and our offensive line is constantly a mess and there's no cohesion or anything, and he's basically out there running for his life and trying to figure things out as they go, that's bad. That's bad for a young quarterback. Those are terrible circumstances to be in, and unfortunately, they become very, very difficult things to shake, to get rid of. Even when things start going right for you, you're in that survival mode when you shouldn't be. And Kevin, I think that we already kind of saw that earlier in the year. You and I were talking about it with him not stepping up in the pocket, right. Him constantly running. That's bad. Those are bad habits, and you could see that fear being instilled in him. And I think some confusion with the playbook and a lot of other factors are leading to his poor play. I don't think Baker Mayfield sucks. I don't. I'm not buying into that narrative yet, but he's teetering on possibly being ruined if this level of ineptitude keeps going. And I certainly don't want to see that happen. Hopefully in the next 8 weeks, all they just work on is some fundamental football. I don't even care if they win or lose at this point. Right. Play well, play right, make plays, be positive with what it is that you're doing on the field. And whatever happens from that point on.
A few other Tim Couch fun facts for you.
Sure.
You know who he's married to?
Heather Kozar.
There you go. Kids, don't Google that name at home on your parents' computer.
She gonna be naked because she was a Playboy model. Playmate of the year, actually, too. Good for Tim.
The Packers tried to rehabilitate his career, and he didn't even last.
No, I remember that. At that point, his shoulder was just garbage. His shoulder was completely shredded. I don't even know how that man tried to throw a football. He was done, and that's from here. He got pounded. He got pounded here. So
I'd like to see, and I don't have this information because I'm not a prepared producer. How many number one draft picks don't last 5 years in the NFL?
It's more than you would think.
Oh, I know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's more than you would think, because you mean number one overall, like a first round pick?
Number one overall.
Just number one overall. Yeah. I mean, I think the most famous is Jamarcus Russell, because he was Bustus Maximus. Yeah. Tim Couch is up there. Tim Couch he's thought of as a bust. I still think that it's a horrible label to give to Tim Couch. And Bruce Arians agrees. Bruce Arians is a fierce defender of Tim Couch. But he is. He flamed out. 4 years and that was it. He was done. Yeah, well, technically, but and I absolutely remember when Cleveland turned on him. And
It'll happen quick.
It did. He got concussed, and everybody in the stadium cheered when he went down. And then some idiot let him talk after the game, and he cried, and that was it. Yep. That was it. That was all she wrote. What do we got? Any other chime-ins from some folks?
We do. Chat has been incredibly active today, so thank you all, 1, for watching, and 2, for chiming in.
Thank you for your participation. I do read this stuff. I go back and I read it later too.
So P-Dub's question for the day is reminiscing on the Factory of Sadness. Name players that we as fans were so high on that were busts.
That we were high on that wound up becoming busts.
His examples are Peyton Hillis and Jerome Harrison.
Yeah, Peyton Hillis. Wow, we put him on the cover of Madden. We put Peyton. Think about that. Think about how powerful the fans of Cleveland are. We put Peyton Hillis on the cover of Madden. Yeah, again, high hopes and nothing. I think that that's a good one. I don't know if I can. A name really pops into my head. I know that Kellen Winslow, before he became a habitual rapist.
Absolutely.
Kellen Winslow, he came to the, and we were like, ooh, wow, we got Winslow, and he's a beast, and he was a beast, and now he's just an animal, and he belongs in the cage that he's in, but he's definitely one that comes to mind. Braylon Edwards comes to mind. He was really hyped. A lot of people poo-pooed on him because he came from Michigan. I said poo-poo. He came from Michigan, but there was a lot of hype with Braylon Edwards, and he wound up, he was a bust. Josh Gordon recently is another one.
Yeah.
I mean, he led the NFL in receiving. Everybody, that's already swept under the carpet. This guy had almost 1,700 yards receiving in like 14. It was like 12 or 14 games because he was suspended that year.
Right.
At the beginning, and I'm not sure if it was 2 or 4 games. But he had back-to-back 200-yard receiving games, and everybody in Cleveland's like, who is this guy? Oh my goodness, we have the next great superstar. And then, he couldn't get off the that purple drank and all of his tweeds and all of the other stuff. So, smoking crack in the back of the team bus or whatever it was that he was doing. He's done. He's in Seattle now.
Couple other tidbits from the chat room. P-Dubs is also laughing at your Cherry Coke Zero.
Cherry Coke Zero, babe. Listen, I can't even drink today because normally this would be beer. I should be drinking beer, but I'm so depressed over this team that I'll drink 12 of them and I won't go to work tomorrow. I'll get fired. I can't have that. This is good stuff.
Bianca chimes in again. 1, Anthony says hello. 2,
awesome.
Do you think Mayfield knows how to read the defense? In terms of getting OBJ the ball more?
It certainly doesn't look like it. There are times where I think that Baker Mayfield is legitimately confused, but I don't know why. I don't know if it's just him not knowing what's going on or something schematically that's happening. He's supposed to be making a certain read a certain way to a certain player. I don't know that. It doesn't look good. I'll say that. There are some times where he looks very, very decisive, and it's boom, and he knows what he's doing. He knows where he's going, and it happens, and he's throwing darts. And then there's another play right after it where he looks lost. He looks completely, and I don't know if that's on him. I don't know if that's on coaching. Is it a combination of the two? I don't know. I know that there were a few times that we tried to take, go deep, because you got to try to take deep shots, and they just haven't been doing it. And there are a few times that they did. He's got 10 defenders in his face, and you can't have it. I think it's a combination of factors. I'm not putting it all on Baker yet. I'm not putting it on him yet, but I need to start seeing something. I need a game from Baker. I need a 4 TD, 350 yard, just smoking game from him for me to get some faith back in him again. It's not all gone, but it's waning. It's waning.
There you
go.
Last thing we got then. Your keys to the game.
There's only 2. Stop sucking. Just stop sucking. Point number 2, see above. That's it. This isn't rocket science. Just stop sucking. That's it. I don't know what else to say to the team. I don't know I could sit here and talk about all this stuff in detail and break things down, but then the team goes out and they do things that are beyond comprehension. I got nothing. I got nothing, boys and girls. I got nothing, but I got you. Thank you all for being here. You see how I did that?
That was sweet.
That was really sweet.
really
Yeah,
touching.
it's good. I love my viewers, my listeners, my streamers, and my chatters.
They've been hanging out today. It's been I've had a hard time keeping up with all the.
That's what I like to hear. See activity, baby, activity.
We love it.
All right, I think that's going to be it for the day, Kevin.
That sounds good to me.
All right, boys and girls, thank you. Hopefully something good happens next week, but we'll be back. We'll be here. I might not be drinking Diet Cherry Coke Zero or whatever it is. I'm probably going to have a beer.
There you go.
Maybe Victory Monday.
I might have a voice back.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully you don't get attacked by wild dogs or get run over by a lawnmower or something. Some freak accident keeps happening to you.
If that could stop, I could use some luck.
That'd be good. All right. All right, boys and girls. We'll see you later. Thanks.